Welcome to part 2 of the series. In the first part, I talked about my work as a producer on this guy right here, and in this part, we're going to talk about my work as the director of photography. First things first, the director and I met to go over that quick treatment that he made. The treatment covered all the main details that I need, such as synopsis, locations, visual references, and overall just the aesthetic of the video that the director wanted. From this treatment, I created my own cinematography breakdown. This breakdown covered camera specifics, lighting plans for each location, as well as any other information I would need for my department. Next up is the shot list. He goes in and writes down all the shots that he wants and provides references and frames for me to see. Once that is done, I come in and transfer all that information into a technical way. Overall, it's just a very collaborative effort between the two of us. After we get all these base details down, we start crewing up. For this, obviously, I had me as a DP, a first AC, 2 gaffers because they were both only available for 1 day, and then a grip. Quick note for crew sizes, they can range from production to production. I've been on small man crews of 5 or less, or 20 or more. It just depends on the budget and the scope of the production. Because the budget was a little bit lower, most of this equipment was either mine or sourced from the rest of the crew. With the money I did have, I made sure to rent a very good lens, a Dana dolly, and a basic lighting and grip package. Shout out Ibuki, by the way. As a DP, I also have a hand in picking the locations and wardrobe. Reason being is because I want to make sure that both of these things work in an artistic and logistical way. Being the producer on this just helped me a little bit. Let's talk about production. Top of the morning of day 1, we arrive at location and start loading in all the equipment. I gave my camera to the AC as soon as possible so she could rig it up with the follow focus, wireless video, and all that cool stuff to make sure the camera works. She also set up a charging station. Usually we have the second AC do this, but we only had 1 AC for the shoot. I also had my lighting team build out the lights and grip equipment based off the breakdown I made in pre-production. While all this was happening, the director and I went down to the basement. We talked about the shots, the day, blocked it out. After all these shots were done, we wrapped, we packed up all the equipment and loaded it back into the cars properly. I kept my camera built out. The only thing we really did is take off the batteries, take off the big lens, and make it a bit more portable. The second scene for this day was in a pool, and that was pretty tough. First thing we did is build the Dana dolly out on C-stands and underslung the camera on it. This is kind of difficult if you haven't done it before, but luckily Chris and I, we've done this on multiple sets for the past like 2 or 3 years, so it wasn't too bad. We were just in the water. After we got the camera situated and framed up with the talent, we began to light. It took some maneuvering around, and in the end we used mainly natural light and motivated the key with a 1200 bouncing off a Mylar. For the underwater shots, lighting was basically the same. We just repositioned the talent, and how I got the camera underwater was I put this thing in a big ass fish tank. New location and new day, but same structure as always. Block, light, then shoot. Overall, this day was a little bit easier because we didn't have to travel. All the sets were in this one location, so shout out to the producer for doing that. You're welcome. Where we did have some difficulty was in lighting because the house didn't have as much power output as we hoped for our bigger lights, and there was a day for night scene. This was my very first time doing day for night, and to make it even more complicated, we were shooting on the 2nd floor and we weren't able to light from outside. Honestly, this was very stressful, somewhat traumatic, and time went by so fast. But you guys know me. The team and I figured it out, and it looked pretty good in the end. I think that's it for day 2. Let's do an outro. Alright everyone, that's it for this 2-part series. I actually had a lot of fun being the producer and the DP on this. I learned a lot about myself and how to manage roles. I don't know if I'm going to do it again or anytime soon, but regardless, it's always a good learning experience. I'm super happy about the production as well. Both days ran pretty smoothly, we met our day, the crew was happy, and overall the project actually came out looking pretty good. If you haven't already, make sure to go watch Loose. I'll put it on the screen somewhere, or run up those numbers and support the team. Besides that, if you have any questions, concerns, or anything, feel free to leave them in the comments down below or reach out to me. Always available to help. Oh, man. I'll just put this in the end because why not? See you guys in the next one.